Meet Canada's top voices in innovation, live in Vancouver at LLL Summit 2025, featuring Kris Krüg, AI specialist and founder of BC+AI.
Please welcome Kris Krüg.
Thank you. How's it going, everybody? Pretty good day today, huh? A lot of amazing talks. I'm feeling very inspired. I haven't seen things from a lot of different perspectives. Thanks to Reza. Thank you, Mo, for having me here. And thanks to all the other speakers. You guys have been amazing. Jennifer, I almost want to cancel my talk and just have a chat back and forth right here. In fact, I did sort of cancel my talk. I decided after looking into your thing that wouldn't be the right talk to give here today. And so I'm doing a wild card. I have a new presentation that these guys haven't seen that I'm happy to share with you today. So let's get into that right now. So my name's Kris. I've been a web developer for about 25 years. I put myself through college making websites. I built a company during the social media revolution. And I was hanging out on my farm on Galiano Island during the pandemic when someone came and showed me AI and completely woke me up to technology again, got me passionate and excited, and I started going down that rabbit hole and learning everything I can and sharing it with the people around me. So out of that has come my company I've been running for 2 years called the AI Upgrade. We've run 12 cohorts of certifications for professionals who want to learn AI and bring it into their jobs. This is sales leaders. We have one of our instructors here, Shane Gibson, who runs AI Upgrade for sales leaders. I run the AI Upgrade for creative professionals, AI Upgrade for media and comms pros, AI Upgrade for journalists. So we've been running the people through this 6-week program. It's transformational. At this time where Jennifer's showing this chart of you better get on the rocket ship, it's taking off, we're helping people get on that rocket ship. So that's the main business. And then I also started a nonprofit. I've been hosting AI events in Vancouver. We've had events 21 months in a row now. The community's grown to well over 2,000 people. And so we started a nonprofit called the BC+AI Ecosystem Association that represents the interests of professionals in the AI space in British Columbia. And things are just really taking off. Everywhere we cast our gaze is blooming right now. There's a Surrey AI meetup, a Squamish AI meetup, an AI in education meetup with educators and administrators of schools coming to discuss where are we going, what's the value of our education as it currently exists, how does it need to be transformed to meet the needs of learners in the future, and oh my gosh, about jobs. If you believe the Sam Altmans of the world and the Dario Amodei's who runs Claude and Anthropic, they're saying big change is coming fast. They're talking 30% job displacement within 18 months potentially. This is fast. Okay, that's a little bit of the background. Now, what I'm gonna show you today is different than everything you've seen before and different than things you'll usually hear at AI Talks, because I'm not gonna talk about ChatGPT or Azure. I'm gonna show you some of the most creative, interesting companies and projects here in British Columbia around AI that inspire me right now. Who's been to Vegas and seen the new Sphere? It's amazing, right? It's this big immersive environment screen. This guy, Tobias Chen, graduated from Vancouver Film School, has been building new machine learning models to build the immersive experiences inside the Vegas Sphere. Using just an Apple Vision Pro and some off-the-shelf cameras and very do-it-yourself style products, he's able to create the most amazing immersive experiences in the world. This is the one that he's done recently. Are you guys familiar with this DJ? Does anyone know the name of this DJ from Instagram? The crazy visual things that he does. He's the #1 person in the world when it comes to immersive visuals. And our local guy, Tobias, is his man. Here's where it gets a little experimental. This is real. Tobias and his team locally are using cutting-edge machine learning algorithms to use off-the-shelf cameras to do volumetric capture and then piece it all back together inside AI, inside an Apple Vision Pro. They built that in less than 6 weeks, having never been into the Sphere. They modeled the whole virtual environment in their headset. Does anyone know who this is? Who's heard of D-Wave? It's one of the hottest companies in Vancouver in the quantum computing space. Who's heard of Sanctuary AI? It's one of the hottest companies in Vancouver in the robotics and AI space. She started both of those companies. Now she's got a new company. She's starting exploring consciousness on AI. What does that even mean?
I think we absolutely have to understand consciousness. So people tend to fall into one of two camps. They say, oh, maybe I have to be conscious. In that case, what we're building is increasingly intelligent, more and more powerful tools that can be used by others. So others control them, others decide the morality and goals of the system. So you can ask if that's what you want. The other option is you think AI will just become conscious suddenly, emergently, in a way that we don't understand. And that's even more scary, maybe, because then we won't know what's going on. We won't know what kind of consciousness it has. And I think for us, consciousness is everything we are. Like, everything we experience is how we relate to each other, it's everything we feel. So I think we just need more research into it. We need to be able to understand it so then we can carefully put it in if and when we choose to in AI.
So this sounds a lot like science fiction, and if it wasn't coming from a woman who had started D-Wave and started Sanctuary Robotics Company, you might pause and question it, but I fully believe her, and here's the types of things she wants to do with it.
We don't know this is the answer yet, there's some tantalizing evidence, but say we're right. I want to stress that this is a scientific hypothesis we're testing, but say that people, the scientists that are on the side of consciousness potentially being quantum, have access to quantum computers now where we can actually start building it into AI. What does this mean? I just want to bring it back to this driving analogy now. So when the self-driving car has driven thousands and thousands of miles and the route is always the same and the weather conditions never vary, they are doing it completely unconsciously, completely in an automated way, it'll be perfect. But what happens if something changes, if something is truly new, and then suddenly something really unexpected happens, like a tornado starts in front of you? The AI is not going to do very well. So, although people might think it's scary when they hear the phrase conscious AI, I want to argue that there's actually a safety argument for making the AI conscious in certain situations where it absolutely has to be present, it's interacting in complex, dynamic social situations. Then you can turn the consciousness module up a little bit.
You know, this is maybe the best guess at the 65% of jobs where they're going to come from. They're going to be immersive experience builders and AI consciousness engineers and quantum computing technicians and algorithm writers. I mean, it's really hard to say, but some of these things I feel like are forming pathways, at least, into those futures. Okay, this is Kevin Friel, aka Mr. Pixel Wizard. He's worked on Dune. He's worked on a lot of the biggest movies ever made. He, from here in Vancouver, runs special effects. He saw the writing on the wall a few years ago with the AI stuff that it's going to change everything, and so he started to explore some new options.
Basically 25 years in film, video, television, advertising, and I've applied that into this new age of visual AI creativity in a big way. The first technology that I really put together is something called the teleporter. And that's an AI-assisted lighting system that takes music, audio, spoken word, beatboxing, you name it. If you can make a sound, this box analyzes it and generates beautiful cinematic lighting cues in real time.
It's not about you. Shut up. It's not about me. I am my sister's sleep.
The other technology that I've recently been able to cobble together using open source materials is something that I'm calling the 5-box. And that is a real-time graphics animation system where you can plug in 5 different fonts, and it will generate kind of cool squigglies for morphing, hand-drawn, stylish animations in real time. It runs at about 14 frames per second, so it looks kind of like an old school cartoon. Coming into the community with Kris and future-proof creatives has been fundamentally life-changing, really. The community that he fosters, the array of types of creatives, entrepreneurs, small businesses, large businesses, from every industry. It's given me the capacity to leverage all my experience, all of the gifts that I have, and spread them out so far beyond myself, and things have really accelerated over the past 3 months that I've plugged into this community. It's brilliant. If you get a chance to join it.
So the first thing that he made is AI-generated lighting shows for all sorts of DJs, dancers, musicians, all these people that are making TikTok content, YouTube stuff. They can get high-end, fully professional, customized lighting shows. He's got a box that has AI on it. It listens to the world around it, and on the fly generates DMX output, which is the lighting format that professionals use. The second one, we filmed that like 6 months ago, and we've improved that second tool a lot. It now runs on full-on LED walls, and you don't have to give it prompts. It responds to the speaker's voice. So if it was playing here, it would be generating images in animated style based on the words that are coming out of my mouth in real time. So he sells this to podcasters, other video events like this, where there needs to be generative stuff coming out all the time. It's quite amazing, the tools that he's built. How much time do we really have? What's your best case scenario? Talk to me honest. 10 minutes, 20 minutes?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay, I'm skipping this one. This guy is an amazing dancer who attaches sensors to his whole body and uses that to generate music that goes with his dance. Okay, Professor Philippe Pasquier. This guy's been running the Metacreation Lab at SFU CIAT, the School of Interactive Art and Technology, for 30 years. He is a world leader in training small models on just an artist's work. So one of the objections that many creatives have is that to get the power of AI, we have to use these tools that have stolen all the intellectual property of everyone in this room and everyone since the beginning of mankind. That's what we get. Not everybody feels comfortable with that, but also you can't necessarily copyright the outputs, sign your name to the outputs. It presents all these challenges. So this guy is working with musicians and artists to train small models on only your work. It's never seen anything before other than the 1,000 songs you gave it or the 500 illustrations you gave it. So you know what went in and you own what comes out.
Philippe Pasquier is a musician who collaborates with artificial intelligence to produce songs. He created computer software that can change musical compositions in seconds, like Mozart to this. The Recording Academy recently updated their eligibility rules for Grammy Awards in June, saying they'll only be awarding human creators at the 2024 show.
The Academy is not going to recognize a voice that has been manufactured or voice modeled after somebody else. It's also not going to recognize a song that was written by a computer that might have been given 1 or 2 prompts to say, write a song that sounds like this.
The Academy's CEO says they will still accept AI music submissions, but there needs to be guidelines about the technology.
We have to make sure artists are protected, people are credited properly, they're paid properly.
But Pasquier says even fully machine-generated songs involve humans.
And behind each and every AI system, there's a massive team, like behind most software, there's a massive team of humans, often that have worked for years to get that AI to work. So we always, having women involved in creation.
So this is what the tool looks like. On the left were the controls. What I did, I was a photographer for about 10 years between when I sold my last company in 2007 and the middle of the pandemic. And so I went around the world making photos. I got to work for National Geographic. Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, the world over. It was amazing. So I had all these portraits that you see here, and I standardized them by putting all the eyeballs in the same place so that they looked approximately the same. Then I used his tool to train a new AI model that had never seen a human face before on only these photos. And then I built some other tools on top that would allow me to walk through the latent space of this AI, the mind of the AI, the dream space, to see the types of faces that could be made from the training that it has. So this is early on in the training, and the very stylized thing you see is my style. That's my analog film style using a slide film, but developing it with the wrong chemicals gives it that really hyper neon look. But this is the AI trying to learn just by giving these images and training it over like 1,000 epochs of what human faces look like. So these are some of the first recognizable humans that started coming out of my data set of photos. And these were a few that I started to like, some of the images I started to enjoy. So this isn't just about like taking a job from a photographer, this is about remixing these creative expressions in completely new ways that we haven't imagined before. Okay, now let's talk about why that matters. If you look around Olympic Village, and look at all those new high-rises, all the people that occupy those have jobs that didn't exist 30 years ago. They're UI designers, UX developers, special effects people, animation, keyframe folks, all these computer jobs that didn't exist. Well, AI's here, it's kicking down the door. It's already threatening support jobs, junior animator roles, and like, what does this mean for us? Like, BC has done a really good job building a tightly integrated tier 2 digital economy. And I don't mean tier 2 as a slight, I mean to say that we're not Hollywood, we're not Silicon Valley, but we've built ourselves as an appendage to those things in a way that works really well for us. We've got 11 of the top 12 video games headquarters here in BC. Why? Because DigiBC advocated and defends a tax credit that allows them to move their corporate headquarters here. Well, what does this mean? It means schools like VFS can fill up, start graduating people into programs, into these animation special effects firms. With the tax credit by Digi, those people can find first apartments in Olympic Village in the speculative condo real estate market over there. But this is this virtual circle that is beautiful but fragile. So what happens if those guys are even half right, those significant changes coming fast guys? Let's just call it 20 or 30% market disruption. What happens in British Columbia if 20 or 30% of the jobs in these industries go away in the next 18 months? What will that mean? It's going to mean significant change for our communities, for our careers, for our whole makeup of our city. So what can we do about it? One of the things that I've been doing about it is we've built this nonprofit that is a community of practitioners and people who are AI curious coming together to learn and most importantly like share, because that's the part. I loved your here's the 3 or 4 soft skills you need to thrive in the modern era, you know, it was so good. And let's talk about the continuous learning one for a second, vis-a-vis the rate of change. Okay, I'm committed to continuous learning, but oh my gosh, everything is changing all the time. How do I thrive in that environment? Well, in my opinion, you put yourself into these virtuous learning circles, communities, where Jennifer goes deep down her rabbit hole, I go deep down my rabbit hole, Reza does his thing, we all bring it back together and share with one another. So this is our lifeboat that we're building from the grassroots bottom up. We've come together, there's over 100 paying members, we've had 4 or 5 events this month, we've got a thriving group chat and channel. So we don't have all the answers, but we're coming together to face the challenges and to do our best to come up with some responses to what is exciting for sure. I'm obviously into this technology. I feel more creative, productive, and powerful than I've ever been in my whole life, probably because I'm one of those early rocket ship people. But I also have grave concerns about Canada's relationship to AI going forward, about our community's relationship, and we need to come together to figure these things out. And you also said, Jennifer, one more thing about like, oh, there's never a bad time to start, you gotta do it right now. It's like, okay guys, if you think that this is going to have an impact on the future AI, and you want to have a seat at the table, if you want to be a part of the conversation, you need to increase your vocabulary. You need to learn about this stuff. You need to educate yourself, because this thing affects all portions of society, not just geeks, not just careers. It affects our grandparents. How do they live in a world of deepfakes? It affects our children. What are my jobs gonna be when I grow up? So I think it requires all of us in society to take an active role and bring ourselves up to speed, engaging in conversations wherever we can, and trying to help build the future that we want to live in. Thank you very much. Yes, ma'am, in the back.
U.S. data centers alone consumed 17 billion gallons of water in 2023, and that's way before now, and AI wasn't as much as it is today. So
Yeah.
I would like to ask you, do you think we'll have a future if all of our water is used by AI?
It's a great question. I know that those facts are wrong because nobody will report their power or water usage. They're all keeping it a secret. So what I'm doing, what we're doing, is we're pushing those big corporations to open up, be transparent, show us how much power they're using, show us how much water, let us build monitors. Because in order to make any trade-offs, to make any decisions, value-based decisions, is this a good use of AI based on the environment, or is this a better use? Well, we don't know because we don't got the metrics. So we need to literally, society needs to push governments and corporations to reveal this stuff so that we can start to track and monitor it, so that we can start put incentives in place for lowering impact and usage. So it's like, we're not gonna turn it off. It's not a reality. So how do we get to responsibility? And it's through visibility. And then eventually, once we've got some visibility, like our organization has a responsible AI professional designation for both people and for products. And the first level you have to meet is that you're monitoring and aware of your usage. Then once you've been monitoring for a while, then you can make decisions and make changes, eventually getting to the highest level of certification, which is like optimal or good, or you've reduced your usage, something like that. So yeah, I think we'll have a future. I think it requires us asking uncomfortable questions, pointing things out that not everybody always wants to hear, like, yo, what about the environmental impact? For sure, thank you.
Last question? Yep.
Yeah. Can we get a mic down this way, or have you holler? Because everyone's gonna learn from you. No, everyone's gonna learn from you. Right here, sir.
So you mentioned how AI might replace a lot of entry-level jobs, and that reminded me of a post that I saw on LinkedIn the other day. Basically, it was saying that how AI is going to replace this entry-level job and how fresh graduates might miss opportunities to learn as someone who do this kind of jobs, because that's where you stumble and fall, that's where you get experiences, and that kind of reminds me of the conversation earlier, how the future jobs going to be for future generations, and what's your take on that?
Well, I think we're all going to have a much different relationship to work faster than it will be comfortable for us. I think, the reason those guys were talking about UBI, universal basic income and stuff like that a while ago is because, and even, conspiracy theorists might say the reason they prototyped some of the COVID funding the way that they did about not having to go to work but everybody still gets paid is because we might be moving to a world where there isn't economically valuable work that humans can do that these machines can't do. And then what do we do then? Who are we then? Kind of thing. And so I don't know, but I actually think in general we have a vested interest in maintaining the status quo. And that means we're probably not being fully eyes on the prize of what's coming down the pipe. So I think that we should really do our best to sound the alarm a little bit, wake up probably, because even asking I get asked probably 3 times a week, I got a college age student, what school should they go to, what should they study? And there's a lot of I don't know in there. For a while I was thinking don't go to school at all, but now I'm thinking the traditional liberal arts education that values science, the arts, music, computers, and all these things make a curious, well-rounded person who can resolve conflicts, know their place, adapt, things like that. So I I think that I would do whatever you can to make yourself as resilient as possible for the coming age. And also know you can't do this once, because this represents the acceleration of all technological progress. So you're about to see cycle after cycle of disorienting technological advance. So I think you should do whatever you can to become adaptable and resilient. I know those are becoming buzzwords between you and I right now, like, yeah. I think I have to, I'm sorry.
October 19th, 2025, UBC Innovation Center, Vancouver.